Hello, my darlings! Today, we've got something really special here. SCP-001, the Gate Guardian. Hold on, let me get out of the way. SCP-001, Gate Guardian. There we go. Gotta get my big head out the way, for heaven's sake. But yeah, I've heard that there are not just one SCP-001. I've heard that there are many, many instances of it. I forget which one of my darlings told me that. But thank you so much for telling me. But anyways, we're going to explore those other SCP-001 instances another day. But for today, we're going to dive headfirst into the Gate Guardian. Let's go.
If you've ever read the book of Genesis, which is the part of the Old Testament that details God creating the world and humanity during a particularly busy week, then you might just be already familiar with SCP-001.
I am?
At least one of the anomalies that's been proposed for the title of SCP-001. Because, of course, SCP-001 doesn't refer to a single creature, object, or entity, but rather a collection of various anomalies contained by the SCP Foundation.
There it is!
Anomalies sharing the name
more than one.
SCP-001 include the infamous Scarlet Cain,
a
powerful eldritch being intent on ending all of creation that is
You're
thought
a
by
big
Foundation
boy.
researchers to be one of the most dangerous beings in this and any other universe.
That is
But the
terrifying
Scarlet Cain
looking, my
isn't
darlings.
the only incredibly powerful being categorized as SCP-001. In fact, there are plenty of other anomalies with similar levels of destructive power.
Look at all the
And one
eyeballs.
such being is a creature codenamed the Gate Guardian. Standing at well over 1,000 feet tall, the Gate Guardian is impossible to be fully contained by any means that the Foundation possesses. The anomaly itself, despite its colossal size, is humanoid in its shape, sporting wings that protrude from its back.
But
While
pretty.
it usually has 4 of these, SCP-001 has historically been seen to have any number of wings between 2 and 108.
Good lord,
from
that's
various places
excessive.
Over its body, including its shoulders, ankles,
Are they like
wrists,
this
and
big?
even its temples.
Hold on, my darlings. Hold on a second. Are the wings like this big? That's why you need 108, because it's like, they all have to like work really hard. They're like the size of freaking fly wings, and so you need like a bazillion of them to actually get takeoff, to get lift off, my darlings. Is that what's going on here? Okay. That makes this being infinitely less intimidating. Picturing all these little tiny wings, not wings, but wings. Good lord, that's actually a funny image. Alright, I'll stop now.
Gigantic Guardian also carries its own weapon, referred to as SCP-001-2. This weapon resembles an enormous knife or sword.
Oh, the
capable of
flaming
emitting
sword.
plumes of flame. According to tests conducted by the Foundation, the temperature of the flames produced by SCP-001 rival that of our very own sun.
Wow.
For reference, the sun has a core temperature of over 27 million degrees Fahrenheit and 5,778 Kelvin at its surface.
Yeah, it's hot.
Or almost 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. You would expect a flaming sword that burns hotter than the sun to cause a considerable amount of damage.
Yeah, to burn down everything.
Use, but the flames emitted by the weapon leave no lasting damage on the surrounding environment.
Oh.
It is capable, though, of annihilating anything that strays too close to SCP-001, burning them so intensely that their atoms literally separate, breaking potential attackers apart on a molecular level.
Remind me not to get close to that guy.
The Gate Guardian
and his
stands
flaming sword.
at the threshold of some form of dimensional gateway, which is equally tall as SCP-001 itself. Behind the Guardian is a lush grove, abundant with fruit trees of astronomical size.
This is talking about the Garden of Eden. That's why it's in Genesis.
SCP-001. This grove is thought to be the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
The paradise that God created and that was inhabited by Adam and Eve, the first 2 humans.
You know, before they messed everything up.
Book of Genesis.
That kind of thing.
As the tale goes, the pair were created by God himself and permitted to live in the Garden of Eden as long as they followed a single rule. Adam and Eve were instructed not to eat any of the fruit that grew from certain trees that God had specified.
I wonder what they tasted like. The forbidden fruits.
Are 2 immense trees, one bearing apples and the other bearing different fruit of an unknown type. The one that looks like an apple tree is believed, even by some in the Foundation, to be the biblical tree of knowledge that Eve was convinced to pick a fateful
Seriously,
apple from
apples.
after an encounter with the
If
snake.
that was the case, the apples wouldn't
one
still be here,
unidentifiable
right?
Fruit is thought to be the tree of life. However, this is all speculation, since it is currently impossible to venture through this gateway and verify if the realm beyond is truly the Bible's own Garden of Eden. This is largely because anything that breaches a kilometer-wide radius of SCP-001 is instantly
Just poof,
vaporized.
just
The Gate
gone.
Guardian attacks with imperceptible
Yeah, back up,
speed,
back up.
using its flaming sword to smite any person that gets too close. The Guardian actually moves so fast that it can hardly be seen with the naked eye. It appears to
Wow.
always remain in its solemn, dutiful stance with its weapon drawn and head bowed.
Can you imagine
Taking
encountering
a
that in real
fraction of
life?
a nanosecond to attack.
That's a
Ranged attacks
no.
against the Guardian are just as ineffective, with all projectiles fired
That's
at
a turn back
SCP-001
around
reduced
and
to
go
atoms
back
before
the
they can
way you
continue.
came. Go back home.
Even if said projectile happens to be a nuclear weapon, the Gate Guardian will be able to subatomically vaporize
They
both
dropped
the
a
projectile
frickin'
itself
nuke.
as well as the person who sent it, regardless of how far
Uh-oh.
away they are,
Uh-oh.
all while not appearing to lift a finger. During an experiment involving SCP-001 on December 26, 2004,
Yes,
an
go
SCP
through the
Foundation
waterways.
nuclear submarine called Nautilus launched a series of multi-warhead intercontinental ballistic missiles at the Gate Guardian.
I don't think that's a good
Retaliation
idea.
from the Guardian resulted not only in the deaths of approximately 35,000 innocent civilians.
Good
The
lord.
blast is also believed by some to have inadvertently caused the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami.
Oh
The
no.
severity of this incident came dangerously close to revealing the Foundation's existence
Yeah,
to the world,
stop
resulting
screwing with
in
the
them
Gate Guardian.
rapidly deploying any means necessary to erase any trace of the 35,000 victims' families, friends, and other related individuals.
Yeah, that
In order
would
to
be a
avoid
field
questioning,
day.
The SCP Foundation administered amnestics on an almost worldwide scale.
Yeah, you'd
The
have
05
to.
Council banned any further tests on SCP-001 that involved nuclear weapons. In what was hoped
All right, my darlings. All right. So you have a giant being that's obviously like not of this dimension, and it's like all on fire, and it's got a bazillion wings, wings. And it's got a giant flaming sword, and it doesn't have to do anything. It doesn't even have to snap its fingers. It doesn't even have to do like the whole Marvel like snap your fingers kind of thing with the glove to make everything disappear. It just thinks about it and poof, everything just disintegrates into their very subatomic level is just poof obliterated, my darlings. And so they're like, well, the first nuke didn't work. Let's fire another one. Yay! Blast off another one, Bill. Everybody just goes, ah! Even the ones who sent the stuff, like even if they're a bazillion miles away, I think that even if you pushed a button somewhere around the world and sent like weapons, like at the Gate Guardian and the portal to the Garden of Eden, you would disintegrate as well. I'm just saying, this is not an usual SCP occurrence. This is not something that the Foundation can control. This isn't in a tiny little boxed room like in their facility somewhere. This thing is in control, okay? I would have given up the first time. Alright, that's the only smart thing to do. I get it, all in the name of science and everything like that, but when something is that powerful, it's just, you are what's being studied, alright? I'm just saying, you're not studying the Gate Guardian. The Gate Guardian at this point is studying you, alright? It's got your number.
by the Foundation to be a test with lower stakes, they sent an expendable D-Class personnel towards SCP-001.
They never learn.
D-Class approached the area where the Gate Guardian is located, and as soon as they saw it, they could hear a very clear command in their mind. Leave. The D-Class personnel reacted exactly the same way you or I would.
Yeah.
They promptly turned and started to walk away. They
sensible.
didn't need a 1,000-foot-tall entity with a flaming sword to tell them twice.
I know.
The researchers running the experiment were not swayed by the request and ordered the D-Class to continue moving towards
Poor D-Class.
SCP-001. When the D-Class continued to ignore their commands, they were terminated. As is
Aw.
standard policy when dealing with an insubordinate member of D-Class.
It can't help it.
SCP-001 appeared not to like this for some reason, though, and and the researcher's site, as well as the researchers themselves, were immediately obliterated by an unknown force.
Karma.
It's a pretty safe guess that a certain flaming weapon was responsible.
Karma.
This candidate for SCP-001 may be one of, if not the most powerful being that the SCP Foundation has ever encountered.
You're still too
And
close.
according to its entry in the
You're still too close.
SCP-001 file, the Guardian is even responsible for the creation of the Foundation itself. If the
Really?
file is to be believed, the administrator of the SCP Foundation one day heard a word echoing through his head. Prepare. This one-word instruction led him to starting the SCP Foundation, containing countless dangerous anomalies and entities
that how it
in
started?
preparation for an uncertain future. In all that time, since the very
Did the
beginning
Gate
of
Guardian warn
Foundation,
him?
the Gate Guardian has remained standing at its post. While it is not aggressive nor openly hostile towards humanity,
No.
the Gate Guardian doesn't seem to care much for us either, at least
No.
as individuals. It rarely interacts with human beings when left unprovoked. And venturing too close to the Guardian, however, is not an automatic death sentence. The Guardian first communicates with any living being, approaching it via a telepathic message.
You see, it's giving you a
instructing
warning.
them to either leave or forget. If whomever has stepped too close to SCP-001 complies with the instructions, they'll be able to freely leave the area, while simultaneously forgetting every detail of the Gate Guardian's existence. Ignore
Oopsie.
these warnings, though, and SCP-001 has no qualms about completely
Don't do it.
eliminating
You went poof.
Given its enormous
You went
destructive
poof.
potential, it is no wonder that the Foundation has tried to use the Gate Guardian to eliminate other dangerous SCPs, each with
Oh my
very
goodness, can it
different
work?
results. The Foundation at one time even attempted to
Did it
use
work?
the Gate Guardian to destroy the infamously indestructible
Ooh.
SCP-682.
Is that a lizard?
Better known by the appropriate name of the hard-to-destroy reptile.
Ah.
Due to the malicious contempt SCP-682 holds
Ooh.
for human beings and all other forms of life.
Wow, look at its
Perhaps one of the most
ribs.
dangerous anomalies
Why is the meat
SCP
inside of it
Foundation
showing?
has in containment. SCP-682 is also one of the few creatures the Foundation actively wants to terminate. A task
Poor
made that much
baby,
harder
poor
given that
lizard.
682 can regenerate its entire form from as little as a single cell. The Gate
Oh.
Guardian had already shown time and time again
It's
that it was
indestructible.
capable of massive
And it eats
destruction,
people.
and researchers working for the Foundation hope to harness that power to rid the world
Can
of
you use it?
SCP-682.
Can you destroy
682 was
682?
placed on an unmanned vehicle and carried to within 1 kilometer of the Gate Guardian.
Mm.
The Guardian attacked the vehicle, seriously wounding but not killing 682.
Nope.
It seemed even the mighty
Oh.
SCP-001 couldn't kill the hard-to-destroy.
He's like, I was just chilling in the back here. Why'd you light me on fire?
Noting that 682 made a very interesting comment to the Guardian. 682 mentioned that the Gate Guardian is not Uriel, but a pretender. Uriel
pretender?
is the archangel that some religious texts describe as the
Ooh.
Guardian standing at the Gate of Eden with a fiery sword.
Case of mistaken
So does this
identity?
mean that 682 knows that the Gate Guardian is not actually an angel, or that the location it is guarding isn't the Garden of Eden at all?
Is
Any
that the
truth or
portal
meaning
to
behind
hell?
These comments has, as of yet, been undetermined by the SCP Foundation. A later experiment involved both SCP-001 and SCP-073.
Yes.
The anomaly otherwise known as Cain. Cain is a male humanoid of possible
They got
Arabic
Cain
descent
too?
whose
Frickin'
arms,
Cain?
legs, spine, and shoulders are replaced in an almost cyborg-like fashion with beryllium bronze.
Ow.
Much like the Gate Guardian, SCP-073
Looks
may also
painful.
be the same as the one mentioned in the Bible's book of Genesis, who,
Yeah.
according to the biblical story,
Cain and
murdered his
Abel.
own brother Abel out of spite.
Mm-hmm.
As punishment for his actions, Cain was cursed to eternally suffer for his wrongdoing. In the case of SCP-073, any damage inflicted on him is deflected back to the attacker. Cain is made
Oh.
to feel the pain of the attack. Any
Ow.
plants or plant-based matter withers and rots in his presence, and he is cursed with a perfect memory, keeping him forever haunted by his murder of Abel.
But yeah, my darlings. Okay, in the Bible, in the Biblia, I'm just saying that the whole story about Cain and Abel, he did kill his brother. Alright? It was out of a fit of jealousy because God accepted his brother's offering, which was of blood. You know, he killed a bunch of animals and he offered them to God and the blood on the altar, and God gave him the thumbs up and said, yes. But then, like Cain, he wasn't a herdsman, he was a farmer. So he brought a bunch of his produce, the best that he had, to God's altar, and God said, that's not what I wanted. I told you that it's not what I wanted, and so, I'm rejecting your offering. Begone, thought. And so the thing is that, Cain was like, that's not fair. I gave you the best of what I had. And looked over at Brother Darius and said, it's your fault. And so he killed him. And in the end, Cain ended up cursed. And in the Bible story, he pretty much, he had to wander the land, going from place to place. And he couldn't grow any food. The ground he walked upon was cursed. So it looks like they... in the SCP universe, Cain is pretty much, they took that to a much more extreme step, my darlings, because now it's not that he can't grow anything, it's that everything around him just kind of shrivels up and dies. Jeez. And he can't be killed, and he's got a perfect memory, and he's immortal, so he just keeps reliving all the bad stuff over and over and over again. My goodness. It doesn't pay to kill your brother, if this is the punishment. I don't envy his position, my darlings.
Cain was brought before the Gate Guardian. An unknown incident occurred. The Foundation's records are heavily expunged.
Ooh.
We do know that somehow Cain's usual ability to deflect incoming damage back at his attacker had no effect on SCP-001.
Uh-oh.
The encounter left SCP-073 unconscious.
Oh no.
And permanently blinded nearby research personnel. It
Oh,
was
dear.
as a direct result of this incident that the O5 Council demanded that no further experiments of any kind were to be conducted on SCP-001.
You
With
think?
the administrator even filing an executive order that no SCPs be exposed to the Guardian, and that SCP-001 was to never be used for the attempted termination of other
I'm just saying, at this point, it's just irresponsible, my darlings, to keep poking the bear.
The council decide that SCP-001 was best left alone.
Yeah.
At some point, an erratic transmission was received from Site-0 by Foundation personnel, detailing an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario.
Oh
In the
no.
transmission, the sender, believed to be another member of the SCP
That sucks.
Foundation, described an event during which the Gate Guardian finally left its post, stepping away from the entrance to the
Oh no.
of Eden. SCP-001
But why?
has left its location, the sender wrote. The gate is open. They are riding forth. Oh God, it's so beautiful. The
Don't say it's
transmission then goes
beautiful.
on to repeat various phrases including, the Lord shall reign forever. And
We're all
Hear,
doomed.
O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
We're all
It can
doomed.
be
They said
inferred
the
from
4
the
horsemen of the
transmission
apocalypse.
is that the event being described is the end of the world.
I don't want the
Some
end of the
believe that
world.
once God deems it time, his angelic armies will lay waste to the earth in order to remake it as a paradise. When this occurs, SCP-001.
But I don't give consent.
The gate he stands in front of, allowing the other beings
my body's not
to
ready.
merge into our world, ready to cleanse it. Perhaps most interesting is the source of the message. The transmission was received from within the Foundation from Site-0. However, when questioned by personnel, O5-14 told them that no such message had been sent or even existed.
So the
While some
message
disregarded
is
the
an
transmission
anomalous
telling
object
the
in and
end
of
the world
itself?
as a hoax. It was then that a timestamp was discovered. This warning had not been sent from Site-0, at least not yet, and was dated several years in the future. Despite this ominous warning of things to come, the Gate Guardian remains inactive, standing at the threshold to Eden, waiting.
Well, don't
Now check
burn
out
the birds.
SCP-001, which is the real SCP-001.
Yeah, we definitely have to check that out, my darlings. Look at all these SCP-001s. So exciting! Oh my goodness, I love the SCP universe. It's been a fun journey so far. But oh my goodness, even the birds, my darlings, they're burning even the birds. All right, I'm just saying, here's my whole take on the whole thing. Don't poke the bear! Okay? Stop poking the bear. This is not a good idea. I get it. I knew. You're scientists. Scientists are always poking the bear. They're always pushing the envelope. They're seeing how far they can go with things because that's how progress in human society is made. Sacrifices must be made. Did you know those were the ending words of the guy, well, this one guy. Okay, there's many different people trying to fly at the time, but this one guy, he made this like a parachute, like umbrella thing. He jumped and it ended up like killing him pretty much, and his last words were, sacrifices must be made. In other words, he was a sacrifice at the altar of science itself, and he understood that quite well. It's as interesting as it is tragic. But the thing is, though, is that eventually you have to quit poking the bear if it's just causing more destruction and not getting you any progress. You know, you gotta know when to hold 'em, you gotta know when to fold 'em, and this SCP-001 is definitely a do not touch issue, my darlings. And I really hope they quit poking it because I don't want the end of the world to come because I'm not ready for it yet. I don't think anybody's ready for it yet, right? I hope not. Anyway, so my darlings, this has been scary. And this has been interesting, and you've all been fabulous. And of course, never forget, I love you. And I'll see you next time, my darlings. Bye. Why don't you like, subscribe? Why don't you like, subscribe? Why don't you share? 'Cause sharing is caring. Why don't you like, subscribe? What, were you waiting for something else to happen? Bye. Have a great day. I'm afraid that's all I got for you. See you later. Bye.